6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon is retiring today, but she's not yet done challenging Commissioner Amy Ferolino, even presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. Presidential aspirant Calyodi de Guzman says he doesn't support the NPA, but he's also not condemning them. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee says President Duterte betrayed public trust in the alleged misuse of the Health Department's pandemic funds. Chot Reyes bears his plans as he returns as head coach of Gilas Pilipinas. And pop icon Rihanna is pregnant with her first child. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon is set to retire today, still without getting to cast her vote on the disqualification case against presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. Guanzon now challenges Marcos to speak up about these delays in the release of the resolution. Greg Gregorio has the report.
Amid controversy hounding the pending resolution of the COMELEC First Division for the consolidated disqualification cases filed against presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos, retiring COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon believes that Marcos Jr. certainly stands to benefit from this.
Certainly, Marcos Jr. stands to benefit because I believe their grand design is for him to just run, finish the elections, hoping that he will really win without the Supreme Court yet. Hoping that, the Supreme Court will also be slow in deciding it so that he can sit as president for, a few years, even if he is disqualified later. That is the grand design.
But Guanzon believes it could be more beneficial for the presidential aspirant if the consolidated disqualification cases are taken to Supreme Court as soon as possible.
So that if he is disqualified by final judgment of the Supreme Court, his wife can then substitute before the election, so there's no confusion. However, if he does not, and he keeps on fighting this, and the Supreme Court disqualifies him, let's say May 10, the day after the elections, then he cannot even assume office. We don't have to impeach him because he cannot even assume office. It is the vice president-elect who will sit as president. Now, even if he wins and he takes his oath, and then the Supreme Court disqualifies him by final judgment 6 months after the election, he will be removed from office.
Guanzon has earlier disclosed her vote in the COMELEC First Division case to disqualify Marcos Jr. based on his 4 counts of conviction on tax violation. The commissioner said this constitutes moral turpitude, which is a ground for a disqualification of an election aspirant. However, Guanzon's vote may not be counted should the ponencia of Commissioner Amy Ferolino or the main resolution of the First Division would not be released today. That is, before Guanzon officially retires, along with colleagues Commissioner Antonio Co and Chairman Sharif Abbas. With this, Guanzon echoed this question to Ferolino.
Commissioner Ferolino, were you bought off? If you were not bought off, then you should release the resolution so that Commissioner Casqueo and I can vote.
Guanzon also called on Bongbong Marcos to speak up about this matter.
Marcos Jr., you should issue a statement. If you did not have a hand in this, sir, you should issue a statement.
The retiring commissioner also warns Ferolino that the deliberate intent to delay a release of a resolution is a violation of Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, which is a ground for impeachment. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Presidential aspirant Leody de Guzman says he's not supporting the NPA. But de Guzman also says that he won't be too quick to condemn the rebels either, since he understands where they're coming from. In an interview with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, de Guzman said NPA fighters are forced to take up arms, and he said the rebels see no other solution to things like wealth inequality and the lack of genuine agrarian reform in the Philippines. So if De Guzman wins as president, he says he will work on giving the NPA the social change that they're fighting for.
Hindi ko kinakabig o sinusuportahan yung kailang paghahawak ng armas. Ang gusto ko, matigil na sila sa paghahawak ng armas at ang gagawin ko, tugunan yung mga makatarungan at may mga historical na mga tuntungan na kahilingan nitong mga nag-aarmas na ito. Alsan natin ang dahilan. Alsan natin ang dahilan ng kailang pag-aarmas.
The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee says President Duterte betrayed public trust and violated his oath of office under the 1987 Constitution. The committee has released its partial committee report on its investigation regarding the Health Department's budget utilization for pandemic response. The report says Duterte betrayed the Filipino people by appointing a foreign national as his economic advisor and then refusing to hold Michael Yang accountable for his plunderous ways. Worse, the partial report says Duterte even tried to discredit the Commission on Audit and the Senate when they found anomalies in the utilization of DOH funds. The Senate committee has also recommended the filing of charges against Yang, Health Secretary Francisco Duque, several formerly executives, and former DBM executive Lloyd Christopher Lau. But the House of Representatives does not agree with the proposed charges against Yang and Lau. House Committee on Good Government Chairman Michael Aglipay says there's not enough evidence to recommend the filing of charges against them, especially against Lau.
Parang niloko nila si Lloyd Lau, parang ganon dahil napakita nga nila na kaya-kaya nila. Pero dito naman si Lloyd Lau, hindi naman kasalanan katangahan, di ba? Paniwala si Lloyd Lau na magaling sila, malaki silang kumpanya, qualified sila.
People are slowly returning outdoors now that travel restrictions for children and the unvaccinated have been lifted under Alert Level 2. But the Interior Department clarifies that LGUs can still impose mobility curbs on the unvaccinated. Mon Gualvez with the story.
Commuters are now boarding buses and other PUVs to their destinations with fewer things to keep in mind. This is after the lifting of the no vaccination, no ride policy with Metro Manila back to Alert Level 2.
Dati po kasi chine-check namin lahat, yung mga vaccine card, kung fully vaccinated na sila, ganun, kasi bawal po talaga eh.
Hindi na rin po masyadong abala sa biyahe, sir. Pagka yung iba kasi walang vaccine, sir, na ano pa kami, nadadami pa kami mga may vaccine, sir.
Under Alert Level 2, kids are also allowed to travel. In fact, in this mall in Mandaluyong, children are already taking a stroll around. Upon entering, vaccine cards are no longer being checked. Mall goers just need to show their city's QR code for contact tracing. The Metro Manila Council have no objections with the IATF's decision to ease restrictions. But for the Interior Department, LGUs should still have a say on the restrictions, especially for the unvaccinated. In Pasay City, an ordinance barring unjobbed people from leaving their homes unless it's for work or other essential travel is in place. MMDA Chairman Benhur Abalos sees no problem with this.
Ever since, be it Delta, be it the Wuhan virus, be it the South African or the UK, tanungin natin sarili natin, saan nagsimula lahat ito? Di ba always NCR?
However, Abalos says he will still try to reason with the Pasay City LGU since they have been advised to follow Alert Level 2 restrictions set by the IATF. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
It's now Gilas Pilipinas homecoming for Chot Reyes as he replaces coach Tab Baldwin. And with just a few months before Gilas' next tournament, what are Coach Chot's plans for the team? Let's find out in this interview by Gretchen Ho.
And Korea trying to stay within touching distance, and that triple will go a very long way to making sure that Gilas still has to work for this one.
We have with us Coach Chot Reyes. Coach, much. Nasaan po kayo ngayon? And kamusta naman, no? All this news breaking out. Chinese New Year po today. Definitely, you know, it sent shockwaves to people. But for you, how are you?
I'm just as shocked as everyone else. We met on Sunday with Chairman MVP, President Al Panilio of SBP, and PBA Chairman Ricky Vargas. And they informed me that Coach Tab has decided to focus on his Ateneo duties as head coach. They asked me if I wanted to come back and coach Gilas again. So that's how quick things happen.
It's been 3 years since you've been with Gilas Pilipinas. What do you think will be different with the system that you're going to introduce to the team now?
I really like the system and the program laid out by Coach Tab. I'm a big believer of that system. When we looked at the pool, the original pool of Coach Tab today, there were, I think, less than 8 or 7 or even 6 players remaining.
Ano po ang game plan natin?
We're in the midst of putting a coaching staff together muna, and then we'll figure out how to move forward to put a competitive team together. We want to be competitive while at the same time still addressing our developmental needs for 2023.
Paano nyo hahatiin yung katawan ninyo? Bilang dalawang bubble, meron tayong TNT, meron tayong Gilas. Magkakasabay pa yan.
To put a great team around, to assemble a great team around me, my coaching staff, everyone involved in the program, SBP management and admin, PBA. I just got off the phone with PBA, with Commissioner Willie Marshall. I never applied or volunteered for this job, but things happen. I don't think there's any one person who can fill Coach Tab's shoes. So hopefully, I can get the help of a lot of other people to try and fill those shoes. The only thing I can promise and commit to them is we'll give it our best. We'll give it our best, and hopefully we can expect their prayers and their support. So that's... Laban Pilipinas!
Fenty Baby is coming. Singer and fashion mogul Rihanna is officially expecting her first child with rapper boyfriend A$AP Rocky. The Love on the Brain singer flaunted her baby bump while out in New York City over the weekend. The two have been friends for years, and they went public about their relationship back in May of 2021. Pregnancy rumors first sparked last year when Rihanna visited Barbados, where she was named a national hero. Here are the stories to watch out for later today. COMELEC will hold a retirement ceremony for its outgoing commissioners later at 2 p.m. The source code for the upcoming elections will be deposited at the Bangko Sentral today for safekeeping. And the House Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms is scheduled to conduct a probe into the alleged data hacking in COMELEC ahead of the elections. Catch the 2022 presidential aspirants as they face the nation in Panata sa Bayan, the KBP Presidential Forum, in collaboration with Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas on February 4 at 9 a.m. Tune in to Signal TV Channel 250 HD and Channel 8 on SD, and we're also available on Signal Play. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Sir Sito.